limited sense of the word, but nevertheless, it's still freedom. And like I said, Nankasa celebrations should be opportunities for us to ask ourselves, freedom na yekunya yeno, and afa hudie na yekunya yeno. Bibi yedri, is that the kind of freedom we envisioned? That we would be free economically, politically, socially, and even culturally, because this year we are battling with LGBTQ.
We'll come to that.
What is here? Until sa celebrations, and as dates should be an opportunity for us to ask ourselves, have we really achieved full freedom? Now, yes, now if the answer is no, say to ensure we get to the point where we can also say Ghana is truly free. We fought for political independence from imperialism. This year, the new phenomenon is cultural imperialism. Are we free or are we winning the fight against cultural imperialism? And these are questions that I would have felt, such celebrations you would give us an opportunity. And can come and penny. Obeka Chense be free by the vision the founding fathers of this republic had. Omu kuji omaino I can say Nishadi Hunana ewo mutrim Ghana. Have we been able to give effect to Sa Nishadi Hunana? Now I was expecting Zendrano. Like I spoke about cultural imperialism, no. Sometimes presidents, omunya glorious opportunities such as Independence Day celebration, they need to address us touching on almost the most important issues are high. And since here the topical issue, the burning issue, the critical issue, Chairman.
Yeah.
Cultural
imperialism.
What has here? And I would have expected, Mampimbeka said, look, we didn't fight for our freedom so that one nation would attempt to dictate to us what we need to do with our culture. Unfortunately, I didn't hear that. But it's about time we redefined the essence of our celebration and the content that goes into, and the content of the speeches of young presidents, it needs to be purposeful. I said to me, a chair and say, free baby na yeba, baby a way, baby a pesa kodruno, and in Myanmar, say, so that when you do that, you are inviting the entire country to recognize ye free hana ya bedruha, pempensua ye womuni, but we young drew here. These are the things we need to do to get to that point. Yes, and at every point in time, you get the buy-in of all Ghanaians, you pull them along and so on. But if it just becomes an opportunity for us to do highfalutin talks, because it becomes like a routine where Sith match, young corners with for any acrobatics. No munshi jamana president and kind of broth nenguvi and yadia ebwa.
Mention a few front pages and a pay in Semni Biaka, Nefe, Menobe Fiasi, but me fan Chia Emma, Dr. Ben Ochri Anka. Dr. Ben Marching.
Yeah.
Boko dear.
Media chair, na chairman.
Yeah.
Bibi Aboko.
Yami.
If I like that, Yami
Prof Marching. Oh. Mami share problem membra. Prof Macho.
Yeah, you are.
Apomu ye. But akabotom. Me kama.
Akame o sha say kama mi.
Ebe yanka yi.
Akame kwanu mpo bia. Me dase.
Dr. Ben, now ka bibi.
Chama abusianfo no ba ko na nyame ato ne sa afrɛ nti. Next week 15th. Adabaka here na ebe ye na sorry bibia. Na you hear the Nako village Chwekrom DSP Abraham Kwabena Benyako Obu
Mashede
police ni nti next week nyame aduma ebe pe no krabe chama na odi bibia to ntia yesa oni papa ya daso woni papa wo man mu
OP
yes
chama bibia sia I say as of man and can celebrate.
Yeah.
There's a man called Addison. Now oye police ni say we are resigning.
We retire now.
We retire.
No, we resigning.
Okay.
Because on your man, mean to me in radio so. Now, chairman, or no, we Shaman police station.
Okay.
And the nipa me no eba ho say, omo Liberia for. Omba ho be report to say. Kofo bi tata no be say omo robo omo ye businessman. Apparently no me 5 nti nkofo no yeso mbe robo no miensa si omodwane na omotata omo akochi omo ye businessmen no na nkofo no chi omdo omko police station so omo am robbers nti miedu no ko ashama no na omo ko report ye na police ni di akire oye investigation na omo ko report ye nti to cut long story short omo establish say nipa no omo nya akromfo omo phone number no business partners na check here from other countries and regional commander omo here na omo ja assembly chema obeje di say 24 time assembly see no businessman no panina no wom no echo police ni wakaka say waboa me say mpo ama ya anye me nkwan fimi nsam ya nsa anyi yesika mvi nsam ti me ba abadawase $3,000 or commander police ni say onye so asem ne yede awie se wudi ne nam de ma de ame bra ba we de ame de chawo se menye na majuma esese me ye na me ye no chama obeje de say 24 years later nipa na anka ye kunu no se on vice president of Liberia. Wow ama wa full plane efia brochire aba ofi Liberia aba Ghana aba hwe police ni na hia em say join this crackere.
That's nice.
Wa ba aba hwe no no anti no fee Liberia buy 20 onsian bi from that time.
Wow.
Say wona Jim nkwa at that time. He's a vice president of Liberia.
And you say baby ano.
So
obechia ni nsem yi.
Oh yes.
Oh chairman.
No, now he deserves
ni papa we yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Say chairman, you can imagine that 24 years fee 2024 that's the year 2000.
Yeah.
Now be amount $3,000. Now say menye na me ye majuma. It's very motivating.
Is that some of the policemen?
Chairman, Saturday we now say ofia now dey incubator na ba adwuma ko because me start this year American ofia siam the man siam. Chese wa yard ya o say ke man national award kura.
Well, life.
Ye nyina ye de be yesuade say obi o ha wonnim ne daachi.
It's true.
Nti wo ye papa na wo de yoyem na fa ye. Na utie papa no komom so dia dachi
Atik,
Chairman,
back to you. Echo Addison opening why are there I think we share a few of the headlines from Enra because of now Kase Enye Bibia Jamboree. A few of the headlines from yesterday. NDC for commissioning of National Cathedral near what papers but other papers you may want to comment, but
what you have commissioned to be built.
Akufo-Addo announces major projects to boost economy. Okaba bauxite refinery, Ada Salt mentioned, and Oba up in his speech. Simply because of what you said, say we shouldn't always jamboree. We should find important things to talk about. Oshe Ada Salt hin ebemu, we don't love Ghana if we destroy forests and rivers. Let's build consensus on our values. President admonishes Ghanaians. And we've overcome economic challenges. And see another headline. Daily Guide, and I'm sure Mahama NDC boycott independence celebration. Watara hails Akufo-Addo's leadership. Daily Graphic, Ghana beacon of hope. 67th Independence Day celebration. Kufudia set alight. And then Alassane Ouattara says Ghana paved way for Africa. These are some of the headlines. Any comments you like to? Any of them?
Yeah.
Anaba Cathedral Anaba.
Okay. My end my in free hotel. And your mom celebrations no go here no. The German to the beer. What were they commissioning in really? What I mean, was it meant to be sarcasm? What was it? Was it sarcasm? What was it? Oh, so on the day of independence, they chose to, and they allowed them in.
Many so many security for meaningful story into I am not able to comment.
Chairman, you see, sometimes we over dramatize them. Maybe I am hugely opposed to that wasteful expenditure on the cathedral, but normally also we tend to over dramatize more. There are a lot of things we should be speaking about. What is here? LGBTQ in Zamzam, I don't know. Has the NDC officially issued a statement on that?
Maintain.
No. Chairman, we tend sometimes we major on the minors. Now, we are to what end? Maybe said to what end?
Now, if you are not Omokai, Omokai say intimacy.
But is that the only? You see, me Jitu said this was a wasteful project to begin with, and when summer I even feel more livid about Nkrofo no modano or Nkrofo no mudi anymore. And so, I'm not talking about the board of trustees, but individuals who are overseeing day-to-day activities, and the way they conducted themselves, I feel absolutely livid. To the extent that Baku, you don't even know his identity.
Until be commissioner to bring all these things up again. How about that?
How is that commission? How will that bring all these things?
Okay.
No, it's because I already am aware of some issues here.
Let's move forward. Opinion be at 83 or say yesterday's parade reminded me of Empire Day at the Old Polo Grounds in 1948. The difference was substituting Sir Adin Clark with President Akufo-Addo and the Imperial Rolls Royce with a Nissan Open Limo, horses and all. If for nothing at all today, we are governing ourselves. Eko Adi, Ebenezer Charles Oko Adi, former national athlete, winning gold at the Commonwealth Games in 1966, I think. Wow. Yeah. Anyway, I think with you.
Chairman, that's good. And
oh yes,
83. That's beautiful. Like I said, I think it was just some dramatic show to also draw some attention. But there are some major issues I feel said the NDC should be focused on. Ghana, there are so many issues I say can was them. Really serious issues. As for these theatrics, they make people see say sebi you are a bit unserious. Because the question I ask is to what end? It doesn't show and it doesn't invite people to account. And Treasury is just for the theatrics and for the cameras, which for me were very little effect. Until they should begin to focus more on the major issues are Ghana for Ekan Hwasem. Now, some of the issues I'm opinion Ekan Hwasem. I feel a bit scandalized on the comment he made about Ian Forrest. Chairman, you are the president. All the executive powers are vested in you. And you even said, sir, at the risk of your presidency, which means the president has failed in that regard. And Chairman, for the life of me dream one here, say the fight against Galamsey, we have lost it. How is that possible? Chairman, we have every and anything it takes to win our fight. Now, so me dream one here. Because we are pretending to be fighting Galamsey when indeed we are not doing anything. We know the sources of Galamsey. And if the president really and truly is committed to fighting Sahadi, from public officials to party executives, every Obia says Obia A to B. And we know what needs to be done. And publicly we keep lamenting her. I feel the president has let us down. Because too many if the president says, look, I want to clean up Young Forest in a matter of 1 week, Chairman, trust me, obey me. Soldiers were police were like all that you need.
Coercive force. And
digitalization and the use of digital and modern technologies. Chairman, drones were way. If we can say the drones cry Edin Droa Concrasia, what stops us from using drones to monitor the forest? And to make sure that there's a central point. Our drones, whatever feeds are free drones, would go into a central point to be monitor. We're creating Juma Mancroft. So that the very minute activity be a say kosu start here, you alert the men on the ground. Now immediately Omako. Chairman, how come China is able to do it? Na yen timinye.
Because you're a legend.
I like that. And I mean listening to and I felt a bit scandalized. Say, if the president himself are over to me, At least to me in the sense Ghana ha to me in same.
Of course.
If it's expressing this kind of despair, now Chairman, the right, I keep saying that the right to lament is exclusively ours. The president and everybody else in government, they have no such right to. No. That right is exclusive to only Ghana for ye to Abama or Mono. This is to action. Ye kabi bi has man I lament you on bibia no more for whom no or you can say they take action on it. No my bibia for whom. But ye lament no so lament ya. But he spoke about also some of the things especially salt. I think we need to invest a lot more in that sector. No, idea, Cranshe says this year Ghana 4 are going to produce salt in commercial quantities. Ebitimi Eddie Ebikra Equaman on it. There were some issues. I don't know how well they've resolved those issues. But I think those issues need to be resolved. And I have the faith the company that is working in that area, no, Electrochem would take the concerns of the community very seriously. Chairman, I understand resistance there. Anytime there is exploitation of any natural resource, locals, especially if they were doing the exploitation on artisanal basis. Now Uber is a big entity, there would always be resistance. Yeah. But it is up to you, the company, to also recognize any and take the requisite and relevant steps to make sure you will Juma to serve Ghana, and at the same time also betimi amma community na efili say ne uba be ye benya hom faso. You are not coming to displace us from a Jumana kakra na ye no. And Chairman, there's one thing people have not vetted their minds to. Chairman, no, it's not just salt. Not
yeah.
Okay, yeah, lithium. Yeah. What do you say? Lithium comes in two forms: rock lithium and brine lithium.
I see.
Brine lithium comes from salt, and there are huge deposits of lithium in that area. And it is no beyond salt, no. And even it is far less in comparison to Niebenya from Sa Adan Honum no. Uko Chile, any Argentina. Omomuni rock lithium, brine lithium kwa. Enti yene company no. Government needs to have an interest in that company, no.
And it should go beyond rhetoric.
It should go beyond rhetoric. Like I said, Jamboree na ye kind of a brofa kesi na. Government must have a special interest. And as you call Nigeria, Dangote was propped up. It was not like Abai Edisika Bejan is a G, but government created the enabling environment for Dangote and his business to thrive. Yeah. That is the kind of interest I want our government to show in the salt industry. Say, Obia is capital intensive. German production, anything that is manufacturing or production, capital intensive. Abai must create some environment for the company to be able to thrive. And it might even encourage a lot more other Ghanaians to say, Misumi di mikakra ko shahanum na. The environment the government has created, no, I can thrive. Because, like I said, lithium is the future. Salt, only God knows the kinds of things are. Yeah, this salt, bebre kwa. And Yankupon Ashrayen, we can, take advantage of Sahara resources and even become a major exporter of salt. Government must move beyond the rhetoric. Provide that environment and I bet me Abua Ghana for to grow their businesses and become competitive globally. Now,
right.
About consensus on culture. Chairman, I just felt it was a politically correct way of saying LGBT in some media. Anyway,
now quick one. Sir Gadus, I am very happy how Atik has rubbished the NDC's comedy of errors yesterday. I personally saw from the beginning the project was an error that will not see the light of day. But for able-bodied minds to gather there yesterday as happened, shows an erroneous desperation to capture in the most comical way. Sir Gadus, NAD, and no Ebaye. Now, Nano Hesiodri says, I disagree with that take. Yes, the president put his presidency on the line, but it is not the president who moved to the various sides to fight it. Military and all stakeholders were involved in the fight, but the problem is we, the people, our mindset and our unbridled quest for money.
Chairman,
But I think Obisimin countries will tell Anopeya, your friend Dr. Emmanuel Esiedu, or University of West London. Into Dr. Emmanuel Esiedu and University of West London, Ghana for Amuhunina, Anopeya Chiamun from the studios of Kokrokoo.
The biggest platform in Ghana.
By
all accounts.
Of course.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Oh, Chairman, it is.
But I think me personal observation back up me sa independence celebration the regions no ebi say the papa it opens the place up, the local economy development baho and almost feel some Ghana ho near I don't know what you think about that, but my biggest drawback from all is the time wasting
and money wasting.
I am not looking at the money because you can't quantify patriotism, but into I may disagree with you. Yes, because if you say patriotism, who say I mean kind but I don't find my mind won't mean say there's no amount of money I bet you are quantify. But my problem is do I estimate shit I was had you. Say fiti anopa be nunsia nonson na suku for soldier for police for besha for omaya tonsa from some man here na TV, radio, and 6 hours, 7 hours.
Productive.
Anyway, quick comments. I mean, around.
Yes. And like you said, it wastes a lot of time, and the fanfare takes about 90% of the event. Now, soldiers, acrobatics. Okay, I think was it last year and last 2 years, gra. Omuye keche gra na nkobi yashi. Okay.
Yeah.
And those are the things that take a greater part of the time. The real essence, comes at the time Amampeni addresses the nation. And that it takes not long. Until why can't we cut out the extra incidental activities, and focus on here? But I also feel it involves a lot of money, which in my view, Chairman, you may disagree, but I feel it's
a waste of money.
Unnecessary. Well, we can have the celebration, all right, but sometimes they have to commandeer military personnel. Please, Chairman, it involves a lot. We can still do the rotation in a manner that is not costly. What I say, if we focus on the celebration, the president is coming to tell us we be free, but we be and where we need to go. The independence celebration needs to remind us of our history, how far we have come, where we are today, and where we ought to go. But we spend a lot of time doing a lot of other things are here, and these are things that come with cost. I feel some of the investments in our celebration are wasteful.
Okay.
But like you said, it's a fine balance between patriotism and that cost. But I feel we can still achieve the two, cost effectiveness and still have the sense of patriotism, promoted. I doubt if a lot of people still see our celebration as a call to patriotism, because we don't remind people of the need to be patriotic on that day. Among officers, sit my day is another day to rest and to go sebi. Go to the pub and go and boost my head off. Because Nipano on Kobe
President Kufokai. We know the cost of everything but the value of nothing. How about that?
That's also is a fair comment.
Context.
But in this context, I disagree that it applies. Because Obi Wawa, Ungrofu Bebri, Sith Machi, there are a lot of people who don't even care about Nene Kosun. What is here? Until holiday was given for us to celebrate, to reflect, and to learn a bit about Ghana, your history, any baby I have been doing as for. But a lot of people will be so more our celebration because one on one TV, one could be one kind anything about Ghana. He discussed nothing about Ghana. Until where is that patriotism that we want to instill? How do we do that? So we can have smarter ways of instilling that sense of patriotism at a much lesser cost. Now, Obiabe who say, oh, and then they do Independence Day in the US. So I think they call Memorial Day and Independence Day and Republic Day is one of them. People understand what the day represents. Near SC, and they revive their patriotism. And that's why in the US, if there's any country, almost citizens here very patriotic. Who country who are more patriotic than the citizens of the United States. Flag no mun fan diagro. Bagana ha the bob bandana the league. That is how much we value our flag. Because we don't know what it represents and what it means to be patriotic. Obi ye juma. Na sabi ya ben juma no say na. O ko kai na say we de ye nyina ye juma. Juma atem didi obefa no. And I felt say a day like the Independence Day should be one of the days we remind ourselves to be patriotic. And patriotism doesn't just come in having jamborees and fanfares. Chairman, that's fine.
Dr. Ben.
Ghana for Sefakai.
Yes, Dr. Ben.
Chairman, me share that call Nkrumah Museum.
Okay.
Na me hwe niama na me hu baby. So Nkrumah oni Keita eko ha onene ko na damfo ni Keita. Why Ouattara? President Kufuor, why Ouattara?
Why not?
Onipa ono wasisa the constitution. Now ono wako 3 terms instead of 2 terms. He doesn't deserve to have been here.
And he came because of what Babu wanted to do. The same thing and person.
And Sesen Kobaha. Because ono wogu eko wasenimu ase. Onyo obi asese nke invite no. There are a lot of African presidents kebe to mama. Obisa question very interesting. You see, independence. Are we truly independent? Are we? Is Ghana a sovereign state?
We are.
Is it on paper or in reality?
In reality, we are.
Anka obi sorry no be ka kire ho say ade we ni awo pese oye no. Eno menye. Tadabia sending article if you do the reflection obi say one says one pa and your mai abrofo no omo mai free and omo mai freedom.
Are
Jama mentini ama bi ase o. Say ukọ oman bi so sesi a Finland ese mai protest adan adeti ye giant mema mo ware mako mani pie omo nya kunu no omo protest ba mo se mo mu kuro mo de emra we ni ya hye ye ni so
ye beba so yenko ya independence ye beba so
jama here celebration na yenkanka ne say ye de call other regions no say anye ye kura kofori ya kwan bi o ye guso
me de man fit kofori ade ne ye guso na ye me de
jama me say ntisi ye betumi agu kwan no so a ade ne ye twan me do 6 match ansa ye guso why minim se ofa kwan no so acha efi manfe e kofori ya no ekwani bi ne fa bi narrow
Messi yesi eguso a na make a chiro
me chese we could have done this earlier sana make eye o say ashase make say eye say e rotate na chairman system regions no da be ne be call round our regions say president wako ejira 8 years nti ye be rotate ni nyina akura otu fufro ba send be nipa na
fufro no ba na so opeso to
aso wa mpeso a na den na ebesi so na ya kan celebration chairman yes ada no kwa na sabi yes spend you maybe mu ko 2 months before
send you ebi ko rehearsals ebi ko construction ebi ko bambo
anti Independence Day celebration no say ya down the mattress kesi na foam kesi ato ni roli was so independence na sika na ye no ke betua ya de modestly ohun na nka kakra na beka no eti am president Kufuor asem no I love this man so much say hippic fans say this is BB a wo tumi do nsa akere so yeah there no commemoration no when you see what you de kai ho asoman when you nya free but the be na man fia ho no dos no do chairman wo de wo papa ye so jeni what's our security course in reality chairman who feel say me bisa wo me nim ti na me bisa
me je
ho be hia pa say Ghana ye de ye yakode ba be kire na yakode na ahene ye wo
oh there be say enye akode ni na de kire
chairman
Just display. But it happens everywhere in the world, though.
Oh yeah.
Display.
Yeah, China and Russia more display.
Oh,
China.
Yes, we are doing. Yes, Ukaka, you win.
Enti say independence. I chairman. Me, I'm on record to have said for a long time now. Me against more prisoner. You told you I'm 3 times a day for a long time. That was my view until COVID by and I'm saying so I didn't different. Say yachi wa chef a compare say membie me de shirt back go me kon eti efie ni musa na ma bre chema da how many hours can you sleep?
Yeah.
Na ma bre na so freedom na as kire ni. Enti ya do be to prison na bre. Enti say anka ebe jaye say asoman no ne pese ye yenye na kwasi bro ni so de anopa embe uko Cape Coast ni ada especially Cape Coast. See the irony. Na baby a dungeon baby a near dinipa no gu na ya o ma ya de na de soro na na ya so dan ne soro na na ya so dan posibro ni so be boa ya na so wa moye
obi so say onam kwan so fi Kofodua bank crime na onye contractor ni but o shema fi Kofodua kwan na enche
e kwan e fa so say ye na tem yen sangusu ni enko president ebe fa so
anyway
you could have done this last year but na American obi be ka so na expert me manya engineering intimentiase na omuye wie de ani be hu se na be ye na be che e du ba bi so ya retention se nipa ne ye na anye yi a se sika na e be ti ato ne de akwa ni ye na ni nyina chi ya se Ghana nya 67 years chairman ti se Ghana ye nipa ankoko retirement o
da
inti 67 no question back up na maybe sir do we have standards? Do we have standards as a country?
Well,
udu o man bi so a me de me fichire here na mete enko achire na ba bi enya ne ntie se ka no number ebo ho kra ya ba ko pe ebo na chi nso di bone na hwe ya be chew adena edu niema a eye papa e be bo o man na ye mpese ye de ye ho betoto afoforo ne enya ne ye so we so aman bi aso esi. We should have standards. Say moto a yen register no na ye 67 years o. Moto a yen register dey nam kwan so. Ye kosie funu a ye block kwan say obi eda ambulance mu call hospital. Na Ghana ye nim even the difference between haze and then an ambulance. Nia enkwan woni mu na ye de no ko no. Ono ne hu hia say sabi ne wawu no. Na etumi ye bibia keke ne ye ko. Na ninya can say obi ya man Land Cruiser nye nipa ba ko more than 100 Land Cruisers ni Atoma Bank of Ghana officials a omo call round supervisory unit omo call and so omo tena homa financial institutions ehye kofuo sika ya nya omo hwe
yeah baba no so bi se men kan say after independence it was relevant to show the world what we've been able to achieve, hence the need to have a parade. We show off our security agencies, our schools, etc., etc. However, years after, must we continue to showcase these? After 67 years, must we not focus on patriotism? I so agree with you. We waste too much time on this event. Way too much.
Well,
anyway.
Yo.
Yeah.
Enti ena nipa na dia beso so no. Chairman tell bia ye misa bisa ye ho.
Obi say your friend Elder Samuel Anini, Ghana Union Patron of Finland, or something can just there's no such protest in Finland. Inti ebi nipa na ma wrong
Obi na say me check ebi a different country.
Obi so say tell Dr. Ben even AU Day is celebrated and commemorated, leave our 6 March alone.
Chairman we be sen ko mana no pe. AU ni ECOWAS ma catch ro ha said they are not so useful.
Kwesi Reynolds or say if what Dr. Ben is saying, please, I want a visa to Finland.
Obi na send your man on the per me check but anyway. AU ni ECOWAS ye dig and command fam. Me say ECOWAS a organization papa anka watara and going to me third term president.
Obi so say tell Dr. Ben we can't praise Paul Kagame and criticize Ouattara. While he's not perfect, Ouattara is one of the best presidents Cote d'Ivoire has seen. His performance in office has been impressive. One of the reasons he was invited by the president is his success in resolving the boundary dispute between Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire. A stark contrast to conflicts in Ghana where brothers have killed each other over tiny plots of land. Samuel Brian Babing. Dr. Aso.
Finland. I want to no protest in the course. Chairman or producers in the back of the Abba. I say Finland.
Okay.
I want a man who protest now. In your person or Kohono. You better Buana no Ajivisa. But on a more serious note, me say as for mine, Chairman, you born compare with a chia. You boom compo. Open if I chemi.
Bon content.
Open if I chemi. Your baby say who say 770 abobra niam pii a omude ye nyina che say yemoye bra yi akomode kwaku ye bo akai and I support it so kwa ni etu obifo time bia ni etu nofo a so nya akwara no yo hia
Oye ni
enti enkosi da ben asoman chema say ye adwensi ye be ye o bibia nyame dia man me ya kamia kwa say yakopon okroso so ye so dodo bibia o dia man and so identity ye ho kire ye besi sa don very mismanagement is something that
Doc, just quickly, Chairman.
Yeah.
Finland and some fact check. Reuters did a fact check. And I think it was mislabeled. So video clip, no. It was actually a video clip of Swiss women protesting naked over how their bodies have been objectified or how women are objectified. So it was not a protest by Finnish women over polygamy and monogamy.
Okay.
So there's a fact check on it.
Okay.
But it doesn't take away the fact that woman should not marry woman and man should not marry man.
Okay. Right. Fact check Atik Mohammed. Let's move.
Tihana obiako ka say wa ware bremu. Nti men sabinum. So
me say ye beba ho abutre.
Luna.
Openye de kum say ye wo fufu no one ho kwan na. Okay, where you am me go openye. Because me say baby apese okono ho na apese oko. Prof. Afrisha pa?
Avin komete.
Afese say nkwani ahonding.
Nyame te ase.
Apieje wo sunyan. Or say on the Okotu the late General Kutu Champon. The Ghanaian is the cause of his own problems. Unquote. Open your pajabrim. Okay.
But they think if you do a science on enough for more.
Pa.
This a pension anka wako pension 7 years. Abetoso. The person me obi abisa no say so menya fa ahodie
Peace FM
ahodie
Menya fa ahodie
na me wo fa
ahodie
nya fa no de anya den because
but wo no
ya wo na gofo age ato ha no nti wanya bi but sa wo bi no ahora asam no the name of bebre na bema wotumi aka so me wo fa ahodie na say asam fa ahodie na fa plus wo plus plus d it is a wo fa ahodie a che say bibia wo pese wo ye bia no e wo mra kwan so no obi nsi kwan say ya sora no pay e na ye yes o ye beba pise fa obi antumi she say dabi ya mamu nko prisoners wo mutumi ma ha it don't pom so on pepis FM asem a omuntie bi o ha I just say fa hodie no ye twa so
yeah
it yan koda prison na ye nya bibia ye bi say o say ye wo fa hodie was so wo fa hodie a ne a wo pe na wodie enkenka sa wo ye obi a wotimbo wakọ ho a enkora de tore bi a na nkora bankra sa aduane ho fa ahodie no kwame omo wo eche yen
papa
osime di we
osime ndi we
na tete wono ye wo fufu ana waka sa wo pe ho enye ye eti sa ye wo fa ahodie di a eche se emframa fa ye ho ye bibia na sa unya fa ahodie a de ebata ho no se wan kasa ene pa bi e wo wa mambre mu no sa wo koso de adwuma isan se nya broni na ehye wo na kwa bia bre wo sem se ye yan kasa ya mambre mu fa ahodie ne pa na wo mu no enu mom no ase ye chim ya adwena kohwe baabi ama ye hu say ye de enu mom nye na mom abrofo de no a omde baaye no eno na ye that say ye nya fa ahodie eso ye ni fa ahodie you say bepem send nyina na omope eno mpese ya come ye man ye shase free tetentre ne ade ba ko asombu owo mu pa e nokre ya na ye se kamien twauti kanokre no ye twauti kra wagye udin eko kanewu dina se bu amafi no se kanewu na nsemfo ahi etia bi se hu se omeye timu nokredie pa e wo hene efiri yampanimfo esu kosi nkwada so na enkwara ba nkora de ba bi omde nam de kawe opem no na oyiniti na se nokre ameka ya brabo ho a ya fa ho de ne be yejan because corruption ya ka ho asem nyina ne fa pem ne se nipa eni nokre onum se sika o de ne nsa ekobomu enye ne dia enso emfa no sa nokre dia na ewoye mu no come ya ba wiase a cheka kra onyame adom ya din chine kakra mikrom na o de body ya fa body duro emewura fie the whole bunch
yeah
enti say udru kotia say opempan enti say jaho na kofa kente ya na atre be pempan
ade
o say krodon hihye ne sasa atabna abosom nso ne bibia ho enti ye mam sa kwai come obitumi eja ho na wura fi nansa edaso da ho obi nim say min kotwa abode meto ha nti enya media come ne bode na wosoro no obrane awurafuo mu atwa do bedro na bode na ha ni duane nyina si ho obebe ho na obode no omo eye nkofo koko de so odi biko onfanko krachiri na oye koko ho adwuma na ototo no wa mi afidie num ena obu akuafo no na se akuafo no eho kire o ma makobo bosia wo no ho na o de ama wo mpemanim edi fa hodie na ye nya no etor bia ne de asabrofo na sa abrofo no momu haye come ne obi de ban ye ankasa nso ye ka ho ena no na meka se dua o man ho kwaya ena wodo mu enti sanka emfia duesia nso come nye se enya bio o yen kra ya mankra ntem wo hwe ya kwaya se free national theater e ko twam adenta ya ye bi hwana dwene se kuapem bepo ye betumi apamu ne anya kwan abonta kai mienu tumi fa na bi ya ye bi school ya de bia beka de kwa benkroma eye no ya ye bi ayarsabia ya de bia beka ho ba ya kwa enum na ya hwese ne ya ye bi no nti na ya teda eno de akwadro na osado ho kototo ama bi ho a maka wa hada ze kwa me odo ho toto motia ho na umpetentene bi ayo but also ya dan a obeho arase no enti yan konia ye hu se ebetumi aye ne yie no bra ye bre nyina kwa me fa hodie no ba bia ye simto akoye nse yan fa ye ni nkokua yo so ye enti se ye de ani akua akokua yo so a ena niema bebra ye krabay so kwa me groma sha ase se oi agro business enti niema ye dua wa ha no obeye ho emfidijuma mare ye ko school kra in the 70s na kentamponum ne yinum wanchinum na factory so mango factory ba obakon tomato factory oba kumase shoe factory jute factory kasenum ne adi nyina na se ye dua cocoa na bottle na ye de beye ne ye beye ro ha ya
this is craft India.
It is a yatra ho ana bibia nyamede ache yen so yentumi enane asase nani na yani ehwe koko nko aso se eno nko ana beboa koko yin so aye hwe nso a ye kofom ne abafom ya ba oh ase Kwame Nkrumah je 1,000 acre. That was Sankore. Baby a 1,000 acre project. So there be ya be to me aye na cocoa ebu. Mahu bibia me hu say ja chepram so baby a minister free.
Mighty Japas.
No more brigade or
Workers
farm
brigade.
Workers brigade. I am potem o ho na omo kai na besi ho. Na omo ne ma mfudi a omo twa na ye ba wenu nyina it is say se anya fa ahodie pa de a ese ye ma ye ni ko sa ne man so na ne yen ye bedie ba wo abrofo no ye no so opese na atake kan cultural imperialism or the language imperialism ka ho a music imperialism bibia ompe kwan bi ombe na asa wato de no ho epe na wo hu se omo de no bom eneye was emkara abadodo say come be class emfo to be am pese omo bobo Ghana fo aduane obi ama meten na ya asem se hey we ka se omo mutie obi man Ghana fo aduane 10 na omo ya sa na mse mayi fufu afrim na yi apesie ne dokon afrim prof say ne asa
o say indomie
doma beto no
yeah
it is say akanchie ne insihuni enuhuni adibia nchini be wo mu atatre obi nim to omam ye hu sa na man say udi aso ye krase ni do obi ba tu fie na de da bia mu wo fufuo mu oba na nye fufuo na mu dia na eto enye to a na maba pese ara mu fi hefa enti mo bank na ha mu de mo mpoda
aba
outside obeka but covid by na president or say yan hwe na yan aduane dawa nom ne adi abedru yani nyina odi no a cheso ye kurase ni eye adwena abrofo ndi ahye ye trim se o pokosoro dia omo aduane na eso odie enti na wo fa ahodie no wonya fa ahodie nanso
mental slavery
yes
mental slavery
yes Bob Marley be kanchero enti se ye we nyina na fe ya kasa akra de afa akra de se dabi adanse a o me say Ghanaian language ye be say ye free ho am na be optional opa na wo ye
and so bi anye
yes enti wenum nyina no na che say ya fa ahodie no enye mmua e fa ba bi no mtwa no mde maye no mde maye so mo ankasa mbanyam president but mo ye wi a muntie ade we ba komienu miensa we se mo anya ye mamusika ena yato ye niema nyina agu niema ade sika bebre ye no mum no yempe kwame anyamsom ye ba nyamsom na yo nyamsom pa so bi be free ni pemu akohwe nwisia na yi tetrena ye no aduane a ye nkai so ene mi dwabode ye miensa we di mienu a ade ba no onu na se obi kwantemfo obi namanado no obeto a obeba na aduane ho kwame baby anka Kwame Nkrumah epenso oye se memfam fidi djuma oba nkran ha mo amonim nkran ha ye aho nyina se asori na ade afa yama asori yes nyamsum ye nyina ye kwa asori but se o ma nyamsum didi utrim na wa amfa nyamsum pa ama na wa enya anifri a ebe mo abrabo mu akoyi a Kwame udi agro eti ye hwe we nyina na ye nya fa ahodie de a ese ye nya ahofama na ye de ehoma oman no se ye ne oman bia ka Ghana ho eti eno a na ye de ade a ye duma ye nyere ho na fe ye nya oman ho do se nya oman ho do pa se ugidi se memman ni minya bibia ebetia oman minya bibia ebe ma oman sikasem aseye minya bibia ebe ma oman animguase abamu minya bibia ebe ma mayira ade ade ahyem so se me ye ganani no kwabe ya nya ni nyina ade a afibia ye bekwa ko gina ho na se ye def ayi no afidida no ko baabi ye free ha na ye de akine de Kwame me ne president ya adwen
ona ne adwen
oh yes na ko fodu ada man fe kwa bi anke enye yo me tie report so akwan e wo ho ne nkanea ba bia nkanea sese dina ya so nti say afia beba na omampani oteso nso so yenko oti yenko dambaya na no so ye but kwame die ehia pa no say obi de bro say onya engineer wafa kwan no so na onyi ni say ekwan no ebetumi achese ne eche mframa de huhu pade anensanka say ye adwen kwame ni mpampro
bamboo
ohun ni jada mpampro ja edahu and your friend who prem it is a yantu ebo ase amfa ye ni ankoso say oh bia sesi aye di we awie afia ebeba na aha na beko anya hwe kra no ye oba busumi nan busumi num say e de bebo boy ho atwen ba ye ntwen a man koduru say ade abeche no afa ne yesoso nkane bi ade abeche no afa ne egu kota o ba bia yentumi nye ni ye gana ye how ba kono no akwan bebre wo ho a ye dimbrika tenten ena ya emfa ensi bebia ti se ye beto aso de akokoko mantamo kese no so edunsia no so de a ye nhwe se ye ho pomasibre ene adwuna ye de kono ye nya nentem kwame de midi wie se yes ayo mampania sudie na ade nso a ese oye afibia yentimi nyiri because so mampani bi ba na ka say afia eba ohianti 6 March yenia yen Ghana fo ya yen dipakru ya ye betwa bon but abrasrewa ohwe ne kese so ansa no anwene ne bu
abrasrewa
ohwe ne kese so ansa na wadwene ne bu
nti yemi animum na mum
yes enna utim say o hwe senia unsuo se so akwame enye de be so adware
oh you manage you
yes.
make sure sanity
yes it's a sedia be so adware da kwame bra minu an maka say ya ye de ye you know e do so do covid ba ye ye kwasore no o man don hwere
yeah
na ye tumi ye ne ye de no hwere miensan ye no ye ja ye so afere covid ko kwame ya tiesim ya dada na how team say ye che ezu ya team why no tumi no aka say da bi asofo ana preacher and say ya che dodo de be to amano it is say ye de bra ye djuma pepepepe dia kwame minim hwe me no know we Methodist church sofo no kwa na o ya sorry o so on na atua na ka say o preach
onongwa
oh yes kwame 1 hour o twa watch o say the preaching na say be 15 minutes ekwa bonzo wawie de ya no aha ye ni nyina bi announcement ya to collection ya to him see nyina ye bibia bi nti ye koye nim na ye se ye nya fa ahode no se aman mienu hia obia obibia ofa free ne yonko ho na o fam bibia free o man foforo ho de aba o fam ne ye beboa wo nya ye nyina ade a ye ntumi mfa ye nansi form se abrofo ye no matena che o ma ye se ene o mobre ntina ye okokuma so beba da ben o so ukuada ya wada fiada acha bia pasiada de no masaba time bia ni sa ye be hya time be 10 11 more say ye chekra bia 12 15 de enu oni ahyase nti se ye sua bibia ye sua ne pa na o mo no ne anya afiri o mo a ebema ya to ya amamra twen de ene nyame mpengu
Peace 104.3 Professor Kofi Ejekum and Yetene Kano obi say me fenchia Emma Nana Kweku Day edian nipa bebredi nim no ye Ransford Tete former editor of the graphic and Wobaba Margaret Tete of the Faculty of Law University of Ghana, Legon, say happy birthday to Nana Kweku Day, aka Ransford Tete, former editor of the Daily Graphic. From your dear daughter Margaret Tete, best regards to you. I think if you start upon, if you any other business.
Tete. Just say free you go kwa kodru nzama ho ba.
Tete, nipa bebre. I say mensa.
Any mensa. that go photo ever photo photo
senya
break ni andi
kwashi ofiri
Tete Kwashi originally omo my history no my cha media makan no ofiri osu but teshifo bi so eso eje no so munua ana omoba but ye kwapimfo no esane so obe outra ono.
They've owned him.
We've owned him. Say Ofi Mampong. Intimate Tete Kwashi, no phone minimum Tete Kwashi's farm.
Oh, nice.
I know the farm. Truth be told, Tete Kwashi and Cranny.
But two names.
Yes. But me who said near Uri to my chum. Let me be sad me who said all these years, Gadang before, what have they done? Because Tete Kwashi, even in history books, you can't Sophie Mampong.
Yes, of course.
You can't Sophie Mampong equip him.
Yes.
You can't catch Sophie Mampong equip him. Ain't he some fee be ya openya equal to Nimpanifuna, a dear no mind to correct it. Oh, yeah, President Kokande, what to answer so?
German Sebi.
But Sir Obedia Kokrokoo Mampong. No phone. Mra ora nyame fa ne kransie Jacob Echebilamte oye tourism minister Tete Kwashi fo na o mampo no oho no ko bie yese yen fa nye part of our tourism na gadan before na mo way where were you I didn't fit ase no o say you tue tokuro bi ho a e fiti ase mo anka ho hwe
o say ntokwa hyase te say de odi fitiye e tue ban bi enti enyam man ho so krade jai
samre no na me say ka gadan be for ma mo ni so a ka kwa chire but say
they are losing it.
Well, me Monday, I'm happy that now they've also come forward to show us his proper lineage. So it's a learning process for all of us. But Tete Kwashi is being owned by Ghana. Tete Kwashi but Mampo Captain for the yade. Anyway, moving on.
Chairman.
Yes, Atik.
Media Mika LGBTQ.
Menim so hwa ni hia.
Chairman ya dey hia pa. Na I feel say needi kan ma membo yemra hye bedwefo abaso. Chairman ma ya dey papa on both sides. Ignoring the few elements who wanted to be miscreants, so to say, if I'm allowed to say so. But even Omo Kasano, in trying to be miscreants, the news say, hey, there are elections to be won. And even if I have, I can say, unpopular views about this, I say, major to me. Oh, yes. Because when he posed the question, you either speak now or forever hold your peace. They forever held their peace. And I assume, on that note, say all parliamentarians unanimously supported Sabili. Now, until you don't Chairman, cultural imperialism, look, it is the next phase of imperialism. And a idea every sovereign state endeavors to resist. Why? I don't know Monko Russia. Enko preachi Sanimai. He has been outlawed in Russia. Uko, a lot of the Arab countries are. Saab Musui has been outlawed. Why are they not taking the advocacy there? Why are they not taking their threats there?
Yes, one more bray here.
Chama ya boy bray and Tiabetrom say ya boy bray. Ghana is blessed with all kinds of things. What remains a leadership. Now, and that is why Ghana, look, the overthrow of Nkrumah, guswa ehun. Chairman, sometimes it's not just the resources or mine or sometimes it's the style of leadership you present on the international stage. Let them know, say, look, when we are convinced about Bibi, she knew musu mudimu betimi aye best saying. And that is how, countries command respect amongst their peers. But bibiani a ye piagu muso anamaje. Yankoti a omodi aid neighbor. Ghana, ever since we transitioned into a lower middle income country, sa aid ya na yenya no emba biom the way na eba no. And as a matter of fact, we should be working ourselves away from aid. Chama, if you read the Mr. Moyo's book, Dead Aid, it tells you how ineffective aid has been to the progress of developing countries. In fact, ekahuna yeda suti bibi ayeti, because the aid comes with all kinds of suffocating conditions. Near developing countries, Enkanka Africa, ye here, a fair terms of trade. Ye bet me access markets. Just like they access our markets, we should also be able to access other markets. That's all we need. Because, Chairman, if yet me access the US markets, the way I'm accessing your markets, if it's a Ghana for producers, you're starting your producers.
But, Atik,
Chairman,
yes, it's a ote, a real CJDA. So, Tia Sani Tia. And Yakaso.
Chairman, I know.
And she say, Bia, Omashe Daye, Achiano Quang Biswa, a Bama Meno, Dibia, Yahobetri. Ain't in a ma Kwame Nkrumah your margin say, ye why you went free Sadian. Systematically, you communina. No, I said, you two munina.
It is true.
And Abba baby Drews and ne.
Yes.
Obeka Semba Kwana Mra ma Penny Rollins Tiasi. Or my Penny can the unjust world economic order.
Yeah.
Say does it make sense to you say Riasia Fanning in countries mienua a produce cocoa Cassia Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana?
Yes.
More than 40% of world production.
Yeah.
Na cocoa industry is over $100 billion.
Yeah, huge.
But Dudwana Europe.
It's in Switzerland.
Switzerland for Munia cocoa.
Yes, Nansu.
It's been skewed in such a way that we are always at the you get a short end of the stick. It is also a precope. If it is a me Jimmy Fan Hundie. What are we?
Chairman, and precope. You see, because of sa unfair trading terms in tea. Let's remind ourselves of Abakos MB. Chairman, why after the
Professor Jukuma Shani watch you?
Maybe it's here, Chairman. Maybe it's here, Prof.
Yes, I take.
After World War II, the world woke up to the realization, say, at the end of this sound tokono eba in the first place. It was the Great Depression and the effects thereof. Then this Great Depression by Chairman, it was trade battles. What is here? Until Omokrano, they realized say for us to be able say yebetimia tumpodia. Even the developed countries. They had to go through such trade battles, And the Chairman so tumpong as or mind here. You should be ready and willing. But Minkase Nyeno precope. This is how it starts. If we begin to insist, like the Mr. Moyo and other economists are saying, let's young momu who say Edumbuaye. Because Edum it keeps you where you are. But Mummaye, let us trade on fair terms. The way I'm accessing your markets, we should also have, access to your markets. If they don't, in international politics, Omo Bibi a friend R2P. Not R2P. Reciprocal violation of entitlements. Chairman said, Uye Bibi editiamia. I reserve the right to do the same thing to you. What does here? And if Uye Bibi are etiami and it's against the international law, and WTO it is covered by international law. And if there are some trade practices that violate WTO, you can say they have terms for the laws of WTO. If we violate these terms now, the other country also reserves the right to do the same thing. But fighting all the unjust practices against us. But we can start from somewhere. And Tinamika say, Sir Adi, you cannot condition our continued relationship on the fact that Beijing Myanmar that amounts to cultural imperialism. Etum. Me jituma enye ye. And like I said, it is not enye aid na Emma Ghana betumpon.
No,
Trade, fair terms of trade.
When we create our trade,
you see, if they reach chairman, some person say tumpon dia, and can you say have access to our markets and remove some and tariff barriers. Chairman him say nienti Ghana untimi produce bibi manu nko American say. They will tell you that it fails to meet standards of the US. So here, if they need you to produce a particular good or service to meet demand in their markets, no more in the form of agua like they did. Say, produce only garments. So they had some agreement with Bangladesh, with Pakistan and Ghana, produce. Because enuna omu here to satisfy demand in their markets. But near yensu yebetimiaye, so that Ghana we can begin to get more foreign earnings, Omu maunyo. And it's about time we told them, say, Muna muji sebi titi etum yen jintum. And if that is the precondition for your aid, yeah, keep your aid. Now, Ministry of Finance, Chairman, when I saw that brief, initially I thought it was a fabrication. Now in jintum, but it was later you confirmed it's a free Ministry of Finance. How on earth can Ministry of Finance?
That's your last point, yeah.
Say near ye US and other partners near benye free or mohonum is conditioned on say sa adi mampenyi ebetunobo on sign is adi. Chairman, how has Mijo Kram in Tiasia? Mijo Kram in Tiasia, but Mamifa we envy, and I feel say Minister of Finance should stop meddling in this. Yours, let the people tell you, say, because of the passage of this law, and yadi edisi can be mamu. Then we know how to deal with some microphone going forward. But President Akufo-Addo, Chairman, already we are in hardship. You are not bequeathing to us a strong economy. You cannot bequeath to us a legacy of LGBTQ. And Chairman, the president has been dodging from day one.
Meaning?
On say sa adia Ghana for ajatum 93% of Ghana for ajatum say nyadia ye peno. Mampenyin on my own who say
percentage
93%. So CD for mu year survey.
Almost 99%.
But you see, research you can't always get. But 93 is representative enough for me. The president Mampenina and chair from day one say adi or time. One chair adi Ochiri, me that's it. Ochiri. What? No, Prof. And I am insured by the fact that I have a capable TA. Now I correct. Chairman Mampenyin and Chrese Adiwe Dimitri from day one. No comments don't show say this is something I am willing to work with Ghana for to criminalize. Ashazi and also Adidia is bound to happen, which means with the right advocacy. Which means that onuna dwimono ya by and by Ghana adi ebeba. Afe yatra ho, we've got to a point that Ghana for ye mrashe bejo for. But on both sides, so that's the interesting thing. Omaka said, look, we need to have a law on this. Adino aba all the conversations around ye sisi abem akase mampinyi be sign na yemra. Mampenzi or chance obi Eurade. Chairman, Minim said the Supreme Court only interprets laws that have been passed. And yes, sir. And they interpret bills too.
Let the Supreme Court decide.
No, you see, that application has been thrown out. That is the information your producers have provided. Because
I don't think so. Let's get there. When we get there, we'll see.
No, Chairman, see, almost see Supreme Court throws out injunction. Okay.
I'm still checking.
Oh, it's an injunction. Yeah. Okay. But if you confirm, but my point is say, Mampene say Oka say Obi akopa Supreme Court inti me train pano ama we answer na sign. Chairman Fani said this case is going to drag for 3 years.
Then it will be the next president's turn.
Who which means he's transferring responsibility.
Why not?
Chairman,
let me move on. Say I think Pacho, you've overstayed your welcome. You two have struck your bill out from the Supreme Court. Dr. Daniel Kasati and Ewa Woda Nyamin Koso and Shell Bebre. Dr. Daniel Kasati of EcoBank and of the Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana. Dr. Daniel Kasati, happy birthday to you from Team Kokrokoo. We wish you Godspeed in everything you do. But to wrap up the Tetekwashi story, and Sana, Dr. Ben, Obi Atadi in Krabre, a friend O'Neill and Ponsam of Amsterdam, or say, Kwame, why would the Gadangme Traditional Council blame President Akufo-Addo? I'm a former social studies teacher. We have taught the children in the past that Tetekwashi was from Mampong Ekwapim, and for which reason the Tetekwashi Memorial Hospital was built in the region and named after him. Kwame, for all these years, why didn't the Gadangme Traditional Council complain or correct it? Food for thought. At least they've come out. We leave it there. Secondly, ask Openyi Kofi Ejekum for me. Kutupa. Is it encouragement or is it incitement? Okay. O'Neill and Ponsa.
Second one.
O'Neill and Ponsa, even I know is incitement. Okay. But since Prof says second one, we should be kutupa. Incitement. Just said, who piano so unquire at the bonnet. And in it, kutupa.
Nebra bonnet, Ushin crying. Ushin being crying, say, oh, Cosso, yeah.
In crying shit.
That's a bad wow. Said kutupa. I'm not a most horrible culture. To chama men body in you know.
Kutupa.
I do kutupa.
Or Confanochi, when you say history, Sophie, Okuba, and a Basante. If you later, it's Sophie water region. Ah, are you what? Dr. Ben Yampon, we are teaching into also a summary. I think the Gambagan
where there is what I said now, Bommy.
That's my shedder. But can I say, Prof was on any time? Prof for her.
Chairman, yes, we Prof for the Desenia.
Chairman,
Bishop, Pope Bana, Bishop, I am myself. Prof for her,
Chairman, 30 seconds. Bianca Meka said, Akufo-Addo and Zaina Adi. He's going to hurt the MPP and the candidate forever. He's going to be a tag on the MPP. Say party way na sebi. It may not be true. Say party members F-waso, but the tagger obeja mo and he say mo party die eba sebi titi die mo fwaso, and that's going to be a terrible tag that will haunt the MPP for a very long time to come.
Doc Kentaso.
Okay, Chairman. I can. You see. Sebio enipa no niema bi oho a omoye na yempe enye say ye tan om enipa no ye pe omasem yempe so say sebe chema won say ade a ekoso a ye pretend say yenim say obeti say obi ye na ye say abuna pra no enti si ahye de a ye say nipa no ye say ya yemfa no nko ha ye mamra ne nini say already no yankasa ye criminal code no at 27 was it unnatural canal knowledge and no crowd be lawyer for no crowd be say we no chance ya no crowd say dan ni ho papa dia he na ya unnatural sabe ni only obi ye dem there momie no asem ya de ekoso it's been there with us, it's been here na chairman yeah advocacy ye nyan mankofo no say do ba bi kwa ke de be hye ye nwumom ni ade ko de ne ade bi ahye ho kudena kofo sorry tia ya say yan time na kire bi no bi ka say we anase hem eye ahahai nyankopon se yemfa ahahai say ho yare so ye ya hyemra say se ehu se ukura na ogina abonte na onuma ye be kyewo enye ye mra ya hye no me the son of a polygamous father na okwa America na so be say be ma ware mienu a ye be kyewatum omo mra o ma hye no omo ankasa no omo de ye adwuma ne omo pɛ no ada na ye de ne ye pɛ no munya ya me yenye so me de me say me ha mani nka about 99% of Ghanaians you see ade ye mpe chema ya say ye narrow ade na akọ o be ma ne be ma oba san kofo obi si ono obetumi asori akọware asuo bremu President Kufuor Kokrokoo onya nsuo no mo obi be ware nsuo no obi be ware nsuo obi say dua yi a esi anim ha chama be bi e park kai so wa ware dua no nti memfa dua na ase chama ade na no odi se ne ye kan I say we make it so simplistic and yes how yes ade amoye no mo de mo koye ne mo ma mo mfa mmesi se ye mu se say ne yete chama opanini udu abrochira you one year say Kofi Ajekuma student betumi afro Kofi and oyo okay how fair Kofi hey ye de wo de wonsa benkum ni panimu kasakra say de woni enti e say ye ma obi ye benkuma ye ma oni ohene ye sa ye ya ma mre no nti sabi ye nka say ye pese ye ko bo obi ye mo ye mpese o mbebo obi e ade ankofo ye nti ye hyehyɛ mmara na e de ato ho say eniema ba ko mienu miensa we de ma mo nye wo ha wo de ba bi mo pese mo ya say already de bi mo kra pekwan atukwan nti wo de okwa wo se sa na ote nkofo no ha na hu nti mo ma me kwan na wo de mo de mo nkɔ ye ho anka nyame ne nyansam mu no wabɔ se chama ye kura se me nya mo anye sa kan ma betumi afiri ha kwa de okɔ hwe oba be aponchi wo ni se mpeko no obi tumi bu uhu gate ayaye pa be ma tumi bu na chama ye mbehyew adenya why what you say sabio emwampo nanka mpese nipa say media efi me hwe say nyame ammomi yie ye hu bi panyo musician bi a memmo ne din media me mpese ne amete na wie ye kosi say me mpese ne nyame mpese enne me metie ma bodwie mpese me ye oba ma chama radio so ka say din
papa
na sanka wo hu oba opani aduma na din say wo hu oba na wo ye be ma hu say sabio enipa nie na I take many sound na meti here na machi I take wo abontin na me take me pese me kan say
ka jai kan
chama time wo say ba wadwunum kura na sabi I say I send tempan ke do call hospital near call operation
but you and I'm called Kayan Crofo bi bomb me last week
what can you me so me boy
say obisa no ebi aye say
ohiamwa
ye
fa no hospital
adwen no ebia ensisuye obi so ho a ye wo no ye mfra bibi hormonal imbalance ebia bibi atochema enti ode ne kwakọ to afiase no o boa no anase wo ye de
ni omu hiamwa no de omu de
be
but how do you differentiate?
Chema Chema unim say onya normal case kwa na do kokota judges need to make us say bibinti e bia yankoye medical examination ade e wo de da Chema South Africa so baby no tum nikapa ya say send you tum be man sudie bi woni mu
semenyo anansa semenya
enti ya say eduma bi kwa ya say yankoye ne test ya mani tum nikanya say ono naturally no ne ni ya nya say o yes ani mani bi o tum nikaka keke say be ma and the whole world yes
empache owari oba
wayebi but at one point no meka no to ninti yes yempene man into because enema bi woni mu a e man ye enema se
ne hormones
ye ka se yempene na da bi chama mesre na finance ministry they are trying to disgrace the country chama nyamote unim say
professor
prof anya na say nyamote prof menena kasa nyamote
obani
menena ka
prof anya branch ani chire wa twaso
anya sabi anya Ghana nko ana ya hyehyɛ mmara sɛ a lot of African countries cry you. A lot. No so me got am say ya omo first Ghana man. E bi mo akọ IMF omoji loan. Already o ma shemre ti ade. Ai dia mom. Ade tina ye ya bra boda bia o say ye de loans and I say
but you see IMF chairman you see just for purpose of education the role of
the beyond aid
is to promote economic cooperation and stability in the international financial system. Omo conditions usually when they are doing conditionality lending, mostly the economic reforms, they have nothing to do with human rights.
I think wakasa fefe ufi gambaga fine me Mark Vandal biamba umanope. I exorcise the spirit of Father Bacchus from you this morning.
Oh, Jomenti, yeah, kakra ya can say President Adi Nanka you say yeah parliament we nom the bar e ho na obi take decision say mesan and na mensan ye nya mfa mai na wakoka ho asem ka nya abotre kakrai na de we wa ohwe se ne ekwa chema unim say ya mra pi wo ban mu this is the first one say the unism o man mu ni nyina ya honhom ne ye bibia ata akire wo sa de odi pa ba kumie no bintumi fa nkodi agro
mate
enti last week me say one year on hwe na ade ne ba on sign the tenter minim say parliament de kwa o fa nko o ya manache o fa nko yentan obia ye wonamfofo me wonamfofo a o tumu say o asomasi ade bi wonimu enso chema ye no o mo nenam ye ma obia dan ye obia hwe ba ye yemra se ne be ya obi enkogi ni se okobo obi na okuna enya de papa but say bibia na right open ni ane no tama ne ye share say siesta koda kakra we prep time wan chema mra na atenti ye mu bia nkente ha o se mra ni wa ne ye beja se bibia ye bebia na human right sabio obi na wo ne body no so be prostitute o man mi ye pene so ade anu anya ne right
na suicide swe
what you say look at it what's my bre common dem mra ne se ye mpene adenti na mo de adu ba bia mo hyehyɛ mo mra ene mo ne ma nyina be kɔtɔɔte ye de ye kakra ye de bɛbɔ ye ho ban so a mo se mo nte ase aden enkan no ye oni enti ane ase asase we nanano mpo ye nkom we ye nye we ye nkɔ afuom ukuada na sɛ ebnada ye nkɔfo sane ma ni nya ye se ye de bɔ ye ho bra wohu na mo de bibia mpesa mo ye ma ye bibia mpesa mo ye ma ye produce kokoo amona mo kire ye bo ambeto no mo ye ka mo ye hia no mo san kire ye bo a ye nto no. How fair have you been to us and with us? Enti babia I was here who said Jema say ketewe say na nka kobia asomdwe won yes inside aso troda ho yemmo omfo musica
point well made kobia asomdwe won
yes inside aso troda ho
medase
na
I like that one
ye nipa nyamia
boye asumdwe wo ho eyesen sadin asotro da ho Dr. Ben Ochre Anka on quote 2024 and beyond. But quick one answer, Prof. Abem. This one says God didn't give countries like Japan 10% of the resources he has given Ghana. Yet look at where Japan is today. Is it because he gave us so much? Sanctions must come so that we begin to think, and that is Phillips from Takoradi.
Libya thrived.
And then this one says, please tell Atiku Mohammed that he was talking about TT nicely. He should keep using that and stop the other words. Alan Cash, I have exorcised the devil in him, and so. May you say if why inti
you must use the word
Chema wadanfi in your state house ye can one sem studio how many times
virus
of course state house next card account
there we
on to me here hoye me see omon for musica ye bebo ye bra yi
I mean see Libya thrived because
obviously me say based on what you've said no we are ready to eat our Kobe not corn beef
that's all is that
good at once
Prof 1 point what for simon fine yeah but obviously me fa and ase kese emma Bono regional minister
okay
mama no
your point Prof betias in intermediate na say your friend Justina Awo Banahene Inti Madam Justina Awo Banahene Bono regional minister yenina I want them henyina ni Peace FM despite me the Kokrokoo for ye de na se kese ema anope nyankopon onkoso enhira wate amen no and ora Godson Habada nyabro from all your friends at DHL Airport, you got in Habada belated wishes. Prof. Pachobre. I wish him
the very best of luck.
Okoboy,
the only doctor. Yes.
Oh, that's why Minister of Health.
Oh yes.
Minister of Health. I can't say
yes. Chairman General.
Hello, Okoboy there or the move or
Charlie,
I like he said
Okoboy the obi enim say me die.
No, about yes, Chairman what about him tomato Okoboy.
Okoboy there.
If I were in that constituency, Okoboy me too. I'm sure I will announce it. No, it's such a fantastic.
Prof.
Gentlemen. Yeah, we are no.
Patron.
Sa embra ho asem na ye kan.
Patron.
Embra ye now idiansem. It comes from bra or bra bibi the verb.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The other emuno be kan bi no ho a na ye mara. Say ye bra bibi se mo bi nye. Na sa de be ya ugyan nipa a obetie semunti say nneɛma bi a yɛabra sɛ woyɛ wei a ɛtia ɔman no ɛtia nipa a no ɔmoteɛ no eti yɛn na yɛadwene ho sɛ dabi yɛ ha deɛ wei yɛabra na ateke kan bibi Kwame kan sɛ ɔnka sɛ kyiri hate sɛ ɔtan no yɛtan nipa na yɛkyiri deɛ nipa no ɔyɛ ɛna yɛkyiri aduane bi
until there's hatred and there's dislike.
Yes.
Yeah. So the word
until we don't hate anybody.
Yeah,
we dislike what they are doing.
obiara ntae deɛ ɔmo yɛ deɛ ɔmo yɛ no na yɛmpɛ na yɛkyiri sɛ ɛdeɛ biribi ɛbɛbrɛ yɛn nan ɛtiɛtiɛtiɛtiɛ na deɛ ɔmo nso sɛ ntam oath ɛntrahyeɛ wokɔsa ntimɔ yɛka otumfoɔ ntam kɛseɛ sɛ bikɔ yɛ biribi wakyem a metumi nka saa ntam no mfa ntete me
because
me wakyem me nti sɛ meka akyemfoɔ ntam nti obi mfa ne mmara bi a ɛwɔ baabi ne ne ntam bi a ɛwɔ baabi ambɛkoro ma yɛn so anyɛ hwee koraa no yɛn nso yɛ nipa yɛn no matena classroom da
yɛtwa gya wo mo
Kwame
chairman mi so ma kyerɛ bi adeɛ
and ɔdam bi deɛ sɛ
ɔmo bebree
Kwame deɛ ɔmo sɛ onim sɛ na me wɔ Oregon University na opro ne nam hɔ na obi abu pano na yɛ nam sɛ opro we mutie
Ghana
mupie yɛ hɔ a mommra no yɛ ha opro timi bɔ life na o drive na wo sɛ ɔtwe etwam a na wagyina
amman time
sɛ ɔtwe twam
ka abo yɛ kɔfa say dabi
na yɛ twetwe akwa ha yo akɔkɔ ɔtwe na wo sɛ obi de bombra no momfa no yɛdeɛ momemfa yɛdeɛ ɔnkae sɛ entam entrahye Kwame mawie
entam entrahye
opinion ja 4 minutes ama yɛn deɛ
onya 4 minutes
chairman Mr. Wa we benevolent dictator agri memorial memenda be agri anya 84 years
amen
nti yɛyɛ speech and prize giving day yɛsrɛ sɛ agyamfo obiara mmra na ɔmɛboa na asɛm baako a me as national executive chairman maka me no obiara emma me hearing ear say there's one dormitory block e wa agri who say siam no ka say agri population so in school bia Ghana ha yes dormitory 26 years dormitory na to aso miensa ne e wo form no enipa dem 26 years no chairman to aso miensa ne wase enipa tim mienu na also nipa tim edan ye wie ye besi uncompleted Ministry of Education I've had the opportunity to meet GS Director General Mashia Deputy Education Minister ya behwe chairman edan ye to na ne osoro na bua be kura nipa
deputy
nyame mpangu omomma ye nhwe kwan ya fa so ye ko bua so
no to me bia common placement grant me bua na dan
I take me dey say me
minister himself no
omommo ye say get fund o hwan panifo amo o mamu umfa mani ko hwe school no
speak to
na mo anso na edu
get fund administrator no is superb. Please try and talk to him.
Edu admission. School no so. And once you peer students in go baby omoda we don't care.
Chairman, get my administrator Juma wa here.
There is another boys school, boys girls dormitory.
Yeah.
Boys dormitory back so I'm start here 8 years ni. And no see
Prof.
Go and talk to Dr. Boydu.
Me be war London
marvelously with that fund.
Your friend Raymond.
okay
Or the na Raymond ade efri him mentias you. Or the ade bia bremina Brony Becker, it gladdens my heart.
Oh, good.
Brunel University was London. Omode BB you're gonna anywhere for Professor Anochi.
Yeah, Professor Anochi. Young man
Brunel.
Yeah.
Omode Ebiaba na me hunye baby free, but or the two as I say Oko boy to the world. Omode signboard BSc home. Brunel University London. Doctoral researcher and Ghanaian politician, former Deputy Minister of Health, and member of Ghana's COVID-19 task force, responsible for policy direction, assessment, and reviews. Dr. Bernard Okoboy, Health Sciences. Just say me ntiade na say, but the fact that
which means he's doing doctoral research.
Just say you did not
PhD candidate now.
No, so doctoral research. Oh, Okoboy to the world.
Oh yes.
Resmond, you know my weakness with that guy, so thank you very much for sending this to me now.
I see I on your party on Quay. I had to know.
What Okoboy?
I on your party, no San Quay. So what I'm putting a make at
Corona came. And I'm got Tian.
On your show,
clinics.
On your
Prof, young Paul.
Said the idea. I'm not a metam the fancher.
What the chairman? They still and so on.
Chairman said next year, Benya 85, and he may invite over his speech day.
Amen.
Send me a friend of the
you. Oh, Chairman, there be a fees over me, maybe I intend me. There be
already may invite.
I
say a budget and communipa.
Prof, yeah, that's it. I think back to Gambaga with love. 11 in the morning. We've come a long way, haven't we? Kofi Kumbilson is next on your radio. Have a good day. Remember to keep your dreams and hopes alive. It's all you have, you know. And as always, when you stop to say a prayer,